I have never actually beaten Terraria before. Well, at least not on all four of the difficulties. Therefore, I've set myself the challenge to complete Terraria the right way, starting off with a journey playthrough. My goal is to improve my building, beat all of the bosses, use all of the different classes, and of course, stop the spread of the corruption. This is episode 3 of my journey playthrough as a summoner, and I hope you enjoy. Here we are, back for another episode of the Terraria Journey Mode playthrough for episode 3. Now, in the previous video, I said that I wanted to craft this snapthorn out of the jungle materials, but I don't have enough of it. So the materials that I need are 15 stingers, 3 of the vines, and 12 jungle spores. So I've nearly got enough. All I really need to collect are the stingers. And after that, I think it's time for me to start preparing for my Skeletron fight. As of now, I also have yet to fight the King Slime. And I also want to do that by the end of this episode, since I have to beat all of the bosses anyways, and I'm definitely strong enough. Okay, we got the stingers, so now I should be able to craft the snapthorn. In the meantime, I decided that I was going to start working on the elevator, which for those of you who don't know is just a tunnel straight to the underworld. Now, in normal game modes, it does cost a lot of money to create a elevator since you have to buy a ton of dynamite from the demolitionist. However, this wasn't an issue for me since I already had a lot of dynamite that I had duplicated previously. Although I did not finish the elevator, I was lucky and ended up finding some ruby, which would help me since I could now craft a platinum crown for the King Slime fight. Now at this point, I really wished I'd found some better boots, because running back and forth constantly was not fun at all. With nothing left to do, it is finally time to fight the King Slime. That was really easy, not gonna lie. I decided to fight the King Slime again so that I could get the first trophy for my collection. There we go, second try we got the trophy. Next up, I headed to the jungle so that I could start working on another NPC house for the Witch Doctor. Now, the reason I want the Witch Doctor is because he sells the Pygmy Necklace at night for 20 gold. And what the Pygmy Necklace does is it allows for another slot for a minion if you're using the Summoner class. As you can see, I also finally decided to make use of the painter. I decided on green for the walls of my jungle houses, since it would fit in with the jungle atmosphere and just give the houses a little bit of texture. Next up was building, and I really think this is one of the better houses that I've built so far on the world. I tried to blend it in with nature a little bit, which is why I built this tiny bridge. And I decided that I was going to stick with the theme of the rest of the world, and this is also the way that I usually build houses. But I had to switch it up a little bit, which is why I painted the walls in the background green instead of the actual blocks that I placed for walls. I then decided to move the pylon to a better place, which I would regret later since I didn't have any NPCs there, which meant that I could not use the jungle pylon at the moment. Since it was night and I wanted the Eye of Cthulhu trophy anyways, I decided now was the time to get it. Unfortunately, I was not successful on the first attempt. The second attempt also brought me no luck. On the third try, I finally got the Eye of Cthulhu trophy. Another one for the collection. I decided it was time to work on the elevator and do a little bit of underground exploration. And there's not really much to say, it's just throwing a bunch of bombs and putting down rope. At least I managed to find another hard crystal. I did find a minecart track, but there weren't any chests there and it was just another dead end. I also had a look around the mushroom biome, however there wasn't anything really for me to find. Well, at least not for this gold chest. Then, since I didn't have a good pickaxe and I had to use dynamite to get obsidian, this happened. Now, the reason that I had to get obsidian is because the next set of armor that I'm going to be getting as a summoner is the obsidian armor. There are still a few things that I have to do, like fighting the Brain of Cthulhu for the tissue samples. However, I want to start gathering materials so long to make it a bit easier for me later on. In the meantime, the witch doctor had arrived while I was underground, which was good news for me since it meant that I only had to wait till this night so that I could buy the pygmy necklace, which would mean that I can increase the number of minions that I summon from the hornet staff. As I was waiting, I decided to make the entrance to my elevator look better by laying some stone. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to do the lighting and decoration, so I just left that for now. Also thought that now would be a good time to put the marble that I previously collected to good use. I thought that these marble columns would make really cool looking support beams and also make the lighting and the spacing a little bit better. While waiting for it to become nighttime, I did a little bit of work in the journey mode menu by duplicating some items to make the game a little bit easier for myself later. I also crafted a loom so that I could get silk, which I would need to craft the obsidian armor eventually. With nothing much left to do for the day, I made my way to the jungle to wait for night and buy the pygmy necklace from the witch doctor. I was a little bit bored, so I decided to buy a statue for the witch doctor's house. Nighttime eventually rolled around and I was finally able to buy the pygmy necklace from the witch doctor. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.